Hello, welcome to Do Life Session. Today I have a very, very special guest. We call him Maya, but actually Jeremiah Redmond. He's one of the most impressive songwriters and also one of the best in his field to us and to those who know him. Not only does he write good songs, but he sings well too. And he's creative producer. I'm privileged to know him, and I'm privileged to say that he is my spiritual son and someone that I have seen grown, mature, and gain the kind of knowledge that it's just out of this world. Jeremiah,
Yes, sir.
it is a joy to be with you.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited to just jump in. I'm real excited.
Awesome. But I have seen you do great things. And I was in Africa, honestly, when I heard one of your music.
Yes.
I was blown away. I said, who is this? They said, that's your Maya. I said, you sure? They said, that's your Maya. The lyrics, it's amazing.
Thank you.
And I am here to say to you, besides the countless thousands who have heard your music, and are really touched by it, that you are doing a good job, stay on that track.
Yes, sir.
Don't look back, because we are behind you and supporting you. Also with our prayers, you've proven yourself as a man that loves God,
Yeah.
proven yourself as a man who understands and love how to help build the kingdom of God. And you've actually demonstrated what you call love for people. You love people deeply. But again, you can't love people if you don't love yourself first.
That's true.
So I just want us to have just a chat, and let's touch your generation, okay? Let's touch your generation.
Absolutely.
Let's touch your people, your tribe, okay? Because, I'm trying so hard to fit into your tribe.
Absolutely.
I love your tribe, and please count me in. Don't count me out now. Let me be part of it. So I want us to talk to your tribe, and hopefully I'll beg your pardon if I could, borrow some of the wisdom that we have here for my tribe, for the older generation.
Course,
Okay.
yeah.
So I want us to talk about love and
Right.
also talk about self-love, but I want us to be conversational. So let's share. You could ask me questions, I can ask you questions, or you could contribute or come up with an idea that I believe can help everyone that is watching and listening to us.
Yeah. Self-love specifically is really the foundation of character. There's a song that I listen to, and the lyrics go, "Self-love is the best love." You can't really have a strong relationship with, whether it's a friend or a spouse, without looking into yourself first.
That's true. That's true.
Your relationships and how you talk to people is a reflection of how you talk to yourself.
Exactly.
So especially in relationships, people say in relationships it's 50-50, but
Yeah.
in reality it's 100%, 100%.
That is true.
It's 100%. Like, if you're only giving half of yourself,
Yeah.
and they're giving half themselves, then
Yeah.
it's not as strong as it could be.
It's true.
But I know you know a lot about balancing those relationships. But you, as a CEO, as a businessman, a father, how do you navigate through those healthy boundaries and really exhibiting what it means to love yourself?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Basically, what I have learned is that you can't give what you don't have.
Right.
Okay. And if you're going to give something out to someone, first you have to make sure that what you give to that person is something that is going to be appreciated,
Right.
or something that could be of help. Okay. I've just mentioned, as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a father, as a king, and all of these things, I learned to accept that I am one person who has different gifts. Okay. I have different gifts. And like most of us do, we all have different gifts. God gave us various gifts and talents and abilities. And as I've looked inside myself, I realized that these are gifts that I cherish. These are things that I love. And because I love these gifts, it makes me love me to be able to use these gifts to love others with. So what I've done is that I compartmentalize things. For example, when I'm home, I'm a father and a husband.
Right.
When I'm in the church, I'm a pastor and a teacher. When I'm in the business, I'm a leader and a boss.
Right.
When I'm in the kingdom, I'm a king and a servant. And when I'm in the world, I am the people's servant.
Right.
So I learned to wear the different hats at different times when the need occurs. And there are certain times that I have to function in all these areas at one time.
Right.
So I feel, my boundaries is when I'm with you, knowing you well, you grew up here, you are the son I knew, and just to see you operate in the areas where you operate. You could just say, when you were a kid, I spoke to you as a kid. When you became a young man, I spoke to you as a young man.
Right.
Now that you are a man and you are doing big things, I speak to you in that same area.
Right.
So I know the boundaries. I know that, hey, I can't talk to you like I used to talk to you when you were a little kid.
Right.
Because you were a little kid. Now you are a mature man. So I put aside those talk. I deal with you in your level, understand what you're doing, to be able to even support what you're doing, and also see the great things that you're doing. So I've learned my way around the things that I do in the various spaces that I operate in.
Right. Wow. That's amazing. And you were saying, to what you were saying, how you were a father, a CEO, and you're wearing all these hats. How do you sit back at the end of the day and reflect? And of course, these are good deeds. So how do you congratulate yourself? How do you be like, I did that. I did that.
Yeah. Well, I think at times you wish you could do this. Oh,
Yeah.
you've done a good job.
Good
And
old
look
pat
over your
on the back.
shoulders. Yeah.
Right.
There are times what I do appreciate when I feel satisfied for achieving a good result. When you do something and you do a good job and you know you've done your very best,
Right.
you love what you've done. It's just like loving yourself. It's like, you know what? I appreciate that I was able to do this. I did my very best, and what I did was positive. What I did was helpful. What I did changed life. What I did put a smile on somebody's face. Or what I did, importantly, glorify God.
Right.
Ultimately, you can't even love anyone if you don't love yourself. And love comes from God.
Right.
And anyone who loves, the Bible says, is born of God and knows God. So for me to love myself, first is to acknowledge that there's a God who is love, who loved me, created me, and he gave love for me. So the love that I have for me, I have to appreciate it. Love the love that I have to be able to give the love. So I have seen over the years that in the various spaces or the various roles that I play, I'm satisfied by not condemning myself. I'm satisfied by not seeing how horrible and terrible that I am, but by saying, God, I thank you that at the end of the day,
Right.
I can smile because I've done my best. And it's all out of love. Some people think when you talk about self-love, you are talking about for selfish reasons. No, it's not the case. Self-love actually means that you accept yourself. You know your limitations. You know your strengths and your weaknesses. And also you appreciate the fact that you are actually doing something that is positive. So you love yourself by appreciating who God is in you first, what he's made you to be, and also how you can also contribute to others' life through love.
And sometimes I feel like it's harder to get to that level of self-love, especially in the age of social media, because we scroll, and we see a perfect image.
Yes.
On social media, they add the filters, they
Yes.
got the lighting and
Yeah.
everything. It's
Yeah.
perfect, you
Yeah.
know? So what advice would you give to, say, me, a Gen Zer, trying to, or looking on social media and basing themselves, like with these comparisons, and what advice would you give to them?
My advice to Gen Zs like you is like saying, just imagine, now you're a very handsome young man.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank
you got it. I mean, honestly, you got it.
I know.
And everybody that is watching can attest to it. You've got it. You are tall. You love God.
Yes,
you have character. You are kind. You're sensitive. You are generous. And also you respect people. Now, just looking at you and seeing these attributes, maybe it's me seeing it, but you should know that you have these attributes. So when somebody says it, it's supposed to be a compliment.
Right.
But if you follow the social media, and because of the filters, it will make you look at, man, you are not the image that is supposed to be.
Exactly.
You are too tall, or you've got beard. You're supposed, it will create so many things and create pictures and images which you would like to fit in. And many times people do that at the expense of self-hate instead of self-love.
Wow.
Instead of loving yourself and accepting that God made you in his own image and his own likeness.
Wow.
Your height is not a distraction. Your looks is not negative. It is God made you beautiful or made you handsome or God made you who you are because of what he wants to achieve with your life. So you have to love who you are. You have to love yourself. If you see somebody who has qualities that you admire, you can just admire it. Right. But don't say, I wish I'm this person. Just accept who you are. So my advice to Gen Zs and young people is this. Don't let what people say confuse you. Believe in your own self-mirror. Don't let them show you a different mirror of you that is not.
That's right.
Accept the true mirror of yourself, that this is who I am. I can't change me. Only God can change me and make me the reflection that he wants me to be.
Right.
And accept yourself and love yourself no matter what. Accept the fact that social media cannot make you. It's a tool that you can use to advance your interest, but you are altogether lovely and altogether beautiful in God's sight.
That's amazing. Yeah, and it reminds me of the conversation we were having before the shoot. We were talking about how Gen Z grew up in a time where our parents were really based in fear.
Yes.
I was born in 2001, and during that time there was 9/11, the housing crisis, diseases, and a lot of these instilled fears in the parents. It got translated into the kids, and now us as kids, we are very untrusting, or I should say Gen Z, very untrusting. So what would you say, or how would we break that generational trauma to find that self-love?
Now, that is a very important point. You've made a very critical point. Now, most generations are affected by generation past. That is where, at times, people carry generation baggage or generation curses. Right. When you live an era where maybe there's crisis, your parents may definitely put fear in you. Right. Let me say, fear of this and fear of that and fear of that. And if you allow these fears to get into you, it will shape in your life and it will literally control you. Now, I'll make a point. When I was growing up, I had friends who died. They went swimming and never came back. It happened year after year after year. So to the point where my parents, particularly my mother, refused to hear me mention beach or swimming. She was afraid because here I was, we had 2 boys at the time.
Okay.
And she wouldn't allow her baby boy to go swim and not come home.
Right.
I have many sisters. The boys were not many. So she would always say to me, no, I don't want my baby to go swimming. So as a result of it, it is still fear in me. I never went swimming. I didn't want to get near a river or near the beach. I learned how to swim a little bit on my own later on.
Right.
But I have to break that generational, or the fear that was transported to me. And just as you've mentioned, Gen Zs, most parents could put fear in their children. They will put all kinds of images. Just like you tell a child, hey, you are ugly. If a parent keep telling a child you are ugly long enough, the child will believe it because that becomes the true reflection or the image. Because your parents are putting that image in you.
Right.
You grow up hating yourself. If your friends and your brothers and sisters pick on you all the time, your big nose, your big foot, and all that, you'll be conscious of yourself. And it can also affect you to the point where you hate yourself. So self-love is the beginning of realizing who you are. Self-love is the beginning of allowing yourself to grow in a healthy environment without allowing people to put unnecessary boundaries in your life, which will hinder you from seeing what you're supposed to see. So to break that kind of thing, Gen X people have to stay connected to God. If Gen Z will stay connected to God, then they will discover who they are in Christ Jesus, your image in the Lord. And once you discover your image in the Lord, that it can help you to reposition your own mind and reprogram yourself to get out of the negative self-hate into a positive loving. Because if you love yourself, that's how you can give love to others. If you hate yourself, then what you give will be hatred. If you don't know who you are, then what you give to people will be not knowing who you are, giving something to someone. You understand? So we have to get to know who we are by self-loving, by loving ourselves.
Yeah, that's so important. Like, it's these types of conversations that are so important to have. You know, as well as loving yourself, you have to know yourself. And that's where like what we were talking about earlier, the healthy boundaries come in. You have to know because I have a social battery. Like, when I'm in crowds of people and like, it just drains me, and I like people that know me. I will walk away. Like if there's a crowd of people, or if I'm not needed there, or nobody's talking to me, I'm walking away. Because I know myself. I know my boundaries. And I don't want to, pour out something that I don't have.
Exactly.
So my question to you would be: how do you decompress at the end of the day? How do you release all that that tension that you get from your many hats that you wear? How do you release that tension?
I release my tension by first reminding myself that I'm a human being, and that after I give out, I shall have to be replenished. And I try to also begin to assess what I've done and ask myself this question: what next? So the moment I ask this question, what next, then it means I have to either take a break, get my energy or my strength back, or put my mind on something that is positive, either a song or I'll put it this way, a joke or something that will make me that gives me release, or something that will make me think positively, or remind myself of my friends, people I consider friends. I mean, conversations we've had and things about them that gives me excitement or encouragement. That is what I do to decompress. Now, you made a point, and that is whenever, I mean, you don't like where there's troubles. I mean, you don't like where there's, frustrations or commotions here. And where there's so many people, because you are shy, you are naturally shy person. But on one-on-one, you are yourself. And some people are like that. I happen to be a public speaker. But when I'm not with the crowd, I'm usually a little reserved, unless I am doing what I do. But people see me as a public figure, as one who speaks to, thousands, so they feel I am always outgoing. It's not always the case. So for me to decompress, I have to pull myself away and get into my little space. And I love my little space, which is I love my home. I love resting in bed, reading or watching TV, or in my office, just reflecting. So pulling away helped me decompress. And also trying to just get my energy back for the next day's assignment.
Look, that's exactly what I got to do too. Look, my mom knows best, Beatrice Redmond. Hello? She knows when I get home, I close the door, and that's it. I'm blasting music, or I'm
Yeah.
painting, or I'm making jewelry, because I just have to release, you
Yeah.
know? And if I don't release what I have or what's built up that day, then the next day I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just over it,
Yeah.
you know? So in the beginning of this talk, I said, self-love is the best love.
Yeah.
But do you have any mantras or quotes that rings in your head throughout the day to keep you going?
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes is that when best is available, better is not good enough.
That's right.
And another quote that helps remind me is this: do your very best, and God will do the rest.
That's fire.
Do your very best, and God will do the rest.
Yep.
And also, I've learned not to allow condemnation or guilt to suppress me. I always say to myself, I am not perfect. I'm a work in progress.
Right.
God is still working on me. And these are some of the things, words, and mantras that keep me grounded every day.
Wow. Look, I'm blown away. There's a lot of, I asked, Your Majesty, I asked you a lot of questions, not specifically for me,
Yeah.
and I feel like I'm going to be watching this back. I'm going to be rewinding. I'm going to cut it up. I'm going to save it where I need to save it.
Yeah.
Because, you need those daily affirmations, you know.
Yes.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially with my generation,
Yes.
we are trying to hit that mark of the generation before us, or what we just visualize in our day-to-day lives.
Yes.
So this is exactly what I needed. This is what I needed.
Thank you. I enjoy sessions like this with you, just as I enjoy private conversations with you.
Right.
In life, it's about learning. We are learning from each other, and also we strengthen each other. Every leader can learn to be a better leader when you listen to people you are leading.
Right.
And every person that is on planet Earth can teach you something. I learned from you. I learned from your experience. You are very artistic, very creative. The things you do, I sit back and I'm amazed. I say, how can you do this? And I learn not only from what you do, but I see the impact and the benefit it is to many people. So, Maya, your generation we honor, your generation we respect, your generation we love, and I feel like I'm part of your generation. So whatever you do, let Gen Z know that I'm part of them. They shouldn't let me off the hook easily.
That's right.
I love your generation, and I want to ride with your generation. Now, to those of you watching and listening, we want to demystify the church and make the church a place where everybody who comes to church would understand that there's love that goes beyond the pews. Talking to Jeremiah and hearing from Jeremiah is to remind ourselves that the world, as God has created it, He puts people in specific areas of life, and they all contribute to make the world a better place, but makes Jesus still the Lord and the King of all, and the deliverer and the savior of humankind. I want you to take this session quite seriously, share with your friends, and also join us each time we do live. I'd like to have Jeremiah back. Maya would like you to come back. Let's do several of these like sessions.
You know I'm down. I'm down.
Oh, good. And I'm down too.
Yeah.
But you're going to teach me some of the Gen X lingos, okay?
Oh, the lingo? Yeah, I got you.
You're going to teach me most of the lingos. And I want the whole world to know that we are in a better place where we know how to navigate and relate to Gen X so that we will benefit them and they will also benefit us. God bless you for watching. And please, if these sessions have been a blessing to you, don't forget to give any means necessary. And look on the stage, and as it comes, just follow through and support Life International. Let's do life. Sharing with you and doing life with you is our delight. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
Hey Life International family, thanks for watching another Do Life session powered by King Adamtey. We hope that you are blessed by today's discussion and have learned some key principles that you can apply to your everyday life. Join us next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our next Do Life session. You can join us by visiting our YouTube channel, We're Life International RTP, and if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a session. If you're in the Research Triangle Park or the surrounding area, we would love for you to join us on Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our worship service. We're located at 5310 South Austin Avenue, Durham, North Carolina, 27713. If you're not able to join us in person, don't worry. You can join us via live stream by visiting lifeinternational.us/DoLifeTV. If you were blessed by today's message, we encourage you to give. Your giving is how we can continue to bring you messages like this on a weekly basis. You can give via text using your mobile device by texting your donation amount to 84321. You can also give online by visiting us at lifeinternational.us/give. Or you can give by scanning the QR code with your mobile device's camera. Thank you for supporting our ministry through giving. We look forward to doing life with you. Have a blessed week. We'll see you next time. Bye.